In this session, we're going to be talking all about travel and tourism and sport and public services, giving you an insight into the opportunities available in those fields at BCoT College of Technology, so Basingstoke College of Technology. My name's Victoria and I'll be hosting this year's session. Just a couple of pointers before we start. The talk should last about 30 minutes. Please do ask questions to our speakers. They'd love to answer them. I'll do a question and answer at the end of the session. Leading today's session are Faculty Head Claire Scott, Course Director for Uniformed Public Services, James Clayton, Course Director for Sport, James Byrant, and Course Director for Travel and Tourism, Mark McKenchie. We are so lucky having them share their specialist knowledge with us today. Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Claire Scott and I am the Faculty Head for Travel and Tourism, Sport and Public Services. So just to give you a brief introduction, that is definitely not me on screen, just to make you aware. That is the older faculty head. I'm new faculty head this year. Just to give you an overview of the college, we have 97% of our students progress to university, employment or further studies based on the destination data that we had from last year. We are the top 18% of all UK further education colleges offering advanced technical skills training. And we're one of 3 colleges nationally in the EdTech 50 that has recently been given EdTech demonstrator status to lead other colleges across the UK. So our guarantee to you, there are 3 points here. We will prepare you for your future. So courses are tailored to help you develop skills for your career, and you'll be able to gain qualifications that will help you on to university or for further education. We will also offer opportunities for you to enhance your student experience. So while studying your chosen subject with us, you'll be able to gain valuable experience with industrial placements, COVID permitting, and enjoy trips, again, COVID permitting, and guest speakers to support your learning. Guest speakers, we are being creative with this currently in the current climate, and so a lot of the guest speakers are virtually joining us for those sessions. We can also offer you a guaranteed place. So we want to be able to assure you that if you're already applied to BCoT or you choose to apply after this evening or during this evening, your place at college is secure. And we do look forward to welcoming you here, and you still will have the opportunity to change the course that you have applied for at a later date if you decide to change your subject. So the facilities and the technology at this college, we have outstanding facilities. We have a wide range of industry standard facilities and equipment to enhance your learning, and you'll be able to gain hands-on experience to get a head start in your chosen career. We also offer different ways of learning, so you will receive flipped learning and personal development within our courses, enabling you to have the opportunity to study independently and to study at your own pace. BCoT is also recognised as one of the top performing education providers in the country, and we use integration of technology in our teaching and learning, which will also include face-to-face, digital learning and hybrid learning if necessary. So we do hope that you enjoy our creative and engaging lessons, and I'd like to be able to hand you across now to James, who will talk you through the sport provision.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Claire. Just before we go through and separate into our individual vocations that James, Mark and myself will talk about, I just want to talk about industry placement. So industry placement is a really, really big part of our study programme at the college. And it backs up, obviously, the theory knowledge that you learn vocationally in your lessons, and it gets to apply that in terms of a practical sense. So all of our students undertake industry placement while studying at the college. It provides them with real-life experience and a chance to develop new skills. We work with a wide range of local and national employers to make sure everybody gets the best opportunity. As part of your course, we'll talk about guest speakers, and I know that Claire's mentioned that as well, and the individual subject areas will go into more detail. As well as that industry placement, we do try and get out of college a lot as well, obviously, as Claire mentioned, being COVID permitting. And we look at different trips and we look at different activities that can take place. So for example, for sport, we have professional athletes that come and speak with us. We have industry leaders, experienced coaches, personal trainers and therapists. And we take trips to sporting events, stadium tours, and we go to the Anatomy Museum in London called Body World. And we also look at a lot of different universities because the sports science field is very kind of university driven. Again, public services with James and travel with Mark, they'll go through some of their guest speakers and trips. For example, public services go to Belgium and Normandy. They have the CIMEX experience, which I'm sure James will talk about. It's a fantastic emergency services operation. And with Mark, they look at things like EasyJet, British Airways, Winter Wonderland, and of course, Harry Potter World. As well as one of the questions I'm sure you probably have is the entry requirements. There is a place for everyone here at BCoT. It doesn't matter which kind of option you try and come in and join us at, there is always a place for you, and more importantly, a destination post-college. So you'll see on your screen now the entry requirements. These are also available on our website. But the idea is really where we're leading to. So for example, if you come into us at level 2, either certificate or diploma, the goal is to move on to a level 3 extended diploma or a certificate again. And then we're always looking to go on to either industry-based jobs at the end of that, or employment or university. So there's always a destination and end results to your education here. Let me talk about sport finally, please, is the thing that I enjoy talking about the most and that I get to talk about on my job. We offer multiple courses of sport here at the college, starting off at level 2 certificate in sports coaching run by NCFE, and all the way up to the level 3 diploma in sport and exercise science by BTEC. Now, both of these qualifications are endorsed by REPS and SIMSPA. So for those of you that don't know, REPS is the Register of Exercise Professionals. And that's a really great endorsement because that allows that qualification to be taken straight into the industry and employment to be gained from that. On the other side, it also gains enough UCAS points for you to then look at university and looking at going on to higher education. The two specialist pathways are sport and fitness, which is personal training and fitness instructing, and coaching and development, which is very much more working with teams and working in more of a leisure centre environment. We also offer short courses in sports massage, fitness instructing and personal training, and we do have an apprenticeship provision as well, which we're looking at offering for students for next year. In terms of careers, following our courses, a lot of people go on to do personal training, sports coaching, sports therapist, or in terms of leisure management and sports scientist at university. Just to give you a quick background on myself before I pass you over to James from Uniform Public Services. So my background in sport comes both academically and vocationally. I've studied at both universities of Southampton, Solent and Winchester, but I've also spent a lot of time working in the industry. So I've got that hands-on experience and those transferable skills that are great to pass on to the students. So I've worked everything up from a 16-year-old lifeguard when I first started, all the way up to leisure centre manager. I've worked as a sports therapist, and I've worked as a swimming instructor, personal trainer as well. So I've got a lot of experience in the industry. I'm just going to pass you over to James now, who is the course director for Uniform Public Service. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hello everyone, my name is James Clayson and I'm the course director for Uniform Public Services. Public Services as a qualification, what we look to do for our young people is we look to not just aim at the qualification, we aim for 3 aspects of it. That is their qualification, their fitness, and also getting them physically and mentally prepared for joining Uniform Public Service. So we're very big aspects of our course is developing the whole person in preparation for aspects of the role they want to go into. The courses that we look to offer have 3 different tiers to them. We offer the NCFE Level 3 Introductory Certificate for entry to the Uniform Public Services. This looks at 3 units where we cover aspects such as equality and diversity, fitness testing and training, and just key aspects that young people would need to know if they want to join the public services. If they complete that year, the other opportunity they could look at is the Level 3 BTEC Diploma in Public Service, which is, as I said, a BTEC qualification. With this aspect of the qualification, we look at aspects such as citizenship, government policies, law, we look at command and control, major incidents and key aspects which any young person who wants to join the public services needs to be aware of. And the second year of that qualification is the Level 3 Extended Diploma in Public Services. What we like with this qualification is young people have lots of different routes that they can go down. They can go to university, where we have some going to look at criminology. We have some who go direct entry into the uniformed public services, or we have some who look to ascertain their skills and enhance their skills in preparation for employment to a service. What we also do as part of our qualification is we look at ways to actually enhance our young people through trips. So we talked about CIMEX, where we take our students looking at major incidents dealing with the police, the fire service, the paramedic services also. And we look also at military, such as the Royal Marines, and ways the Royal Marines are enhancing equality and diversity in the way that they behave, such as Black Lives Matter currently. We try and enforce that and promote that within our course. And we also get young people prepared for the services they want to go into. Part of our career options, what we go down is we look at police officers have left us through BCoT, firefighters, members of the Army, the Royal Air Force, MOD Police, Ambulance Service. And one thing we pride ourselves on doing within this organisation as the Public Service Department is we really look to promote our young people taking part in work experience. Because the more experience they get, in our opinion, as our teachers of public services, the more of a life experience they get and a greater destination that we can send young people to who want to join the public services. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now pass you on to Travel and Tourism and Mark. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, and to reiterate my colleagues, a warm welcome to our first virtual open evening of the academic year. My name is Mark McKechnie, and it's my privilege to be the course director for our travel, tourism and aviation-based programmes here at BCoT. First thing I'd like to share with you are our fabulous new facilities that are new to this academic year. We have a £30,000 real-life cabin crew simulator. As you'll see from the pictures on the classroom as well, everything's completely brand new. Brand new conference tables, brand new chairs, completely brand new laptops, and at the back of the room is our fully functioning cabin room, which is a fantastic resource that the students enjoy using. Okay, some of the trips and employer links that we have as part of the course is travel and tourism. You'll see on the board a number of them. The key ones I'd like to talk about, we're really quite proud of our partnership that we have with EasyJet. EasyJet recruiters come in each year, give a talk to our second year students on hints, trips and tricks on how they can achieve employment with EasyJet and airlines in general. Some of the other industry links that we have, this year we've got a new partnership with the Four Seasons Hotel in Hampshire, and we've already completed our first trip, which was a trip to London earlier on in the year. Other trips that we do are British Airways Learning Academy, where students get to spend the day putting out fires, going in smoke-filled rooms, and they even get to go down the slide descent. So yeah, some wonderful trips are available to our students over the 2-year programme. But the best of all, I guess, is the residential trip that we do. You'll see a picture of me and a camel there on the top left-hand side. Last year, I was very fortunate to take a group of 40 students to Dubai. And previous trips that we've done previously, I've taken students on a 5-day cruise to Ireland and to France. We have taken students to Barcelona, and I took a group of students to New York last year. So COVID permitting, we always try and plan trips. This year it's quite difficult, but hopefully by the time you join us next year, we'll be looking at planning a residential abroad. So yeah, my pleasure to introduce my team. A little bit about myself first. My background is Hilton Hotels. Started out there as a young waiter. I worked my way up to becoming a duty manager within that organisation. I've worked at Wimbledon, and the real thing that I'm proud of is I was a pirate at Walt Disney World in Florida. So I spent a year doing that. So there is always one lesson a year where I teach my students how they can get jobs at Disney. So that's a little bit about me. My other team members who I'm really proud to have, we have Sue Crabtree. She comes to us from Virgin Atlantic, and she spent 13 years as a member of the senior cabin crew, and she brings a master's degree in tourism as well. And we also have Philippa Ferguson as well. So Philippa was a former holiday rep. She's a cruise specialist, and she's one of the college's teaching, learning and assessment specialists. So we're very lucky to have those. To support your learning, we have our own retention and progression tutor page as well. So she helps you make sure that you log all your personal development hours and that you can complete your work experience as well. So let me tell you a little bit about the courses that we have on offer. So we have two. So there is the Level 2 course in Travel and Tourism. It's a 1-year program and it's composed of 6 units. And the idea behind the Level 2 program is that you will progress onto Level 3. Now, in order to get onto that Level 2 program, you are required to have 4 GCSEs. So that's grades 3 and above for the Level 2 program. Now, our advanced program is the Level 3. Now, this is a 2-year program that is the equivalent of 3 A-levels. So within this 2-year program, there are students that go on to university. Some go on to achieve apprenticeships, some go for border force, and some go for, some even go for to work abroad, placements abroad, and head off to the cruise industry as well. Some recent success stories that we had that we're incredibly proud of. On the left-hand side, you'll see a picture there of Ethan Reed. He did a 2-year program with us, and it was a former student of the year for us. He finished the course with a distinction triple star, and now he flies for EasyJet. And he's one of our guest speakers that comes in to the college, so it's very likely that you'll meet him next year. As well as that, the student on the right-hand side is Courtney. So she left us in September last year. She chose a slightly different path and has went on to university, and now she's studying a Bachelor of Arts in Tourism. And our most recent success story was one student who actually achieved, out of 12,000 applications, she was one of 12 to achieve an apprenticeship with Virgin Atlantic. So if you come to BCoT, you want to study tourism, throw yourself into your studies, you will be a success. Let me tell you a little bit more about the facilities that the college has. Okay, so some of the things that we have here, we have our own college nurse here. So professionally trained and qualified, her name's Danuta, she's wonderful. So yeah, we have our own nurse on site, which is excellent. We have our own canteens here. You can get a portion of chips for about 50p. So that's pretty good when you're a student. But as well as that, if you have received free school meal, if you receive school meals for free at school, that will continue here at college. If you receive additional learning support at school, that can continue here at college as well. We have fully trained, fully qualified counsellors as well, should you ever need someone to talk to that's not one of your teachers. So we have a wide measure of things to support your success. Okay, so hopefully with what you've heard from our faculty head today and sport and uniform public services and myself, hopefully you're going to want to hit that button to apply to come and join us from September. So you can do that straight through the BCoT website, www.bcot.ac.uk. How to apply today, and then you can join. And from that point, you'll then be invited to a 10-minute virtual interview. Okay, so thank you for listening. Appreciate your time, and I think I'm going to return us back to Victoria and take any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What an interesting session. It sounds like there are some incredible opportunities available at Basingstoke College of Technology. We'll now move on to some of the questions that our viewers have been sending in. Let's start with this one. So the first one is, what sports teams are available for girls?
I think it was from Freya, wasn't it? Thank you, Freya. Yeah, so we've actually just started this year a female football team. I've just seen that there's another question pop up about that as well. So yes, we do have a female football team. The Football Academy is a big part of the sports provision here. They train twice a week. So at the moment it's a Monday and a Friday. We play at our local sports ground and also some AstroTurf facilities during the winter period. And we're very, very lucky to play our matches on a Wednesday in the local Hampshire College Leagues. And we play that at Hampshire FA's home ground, so Basingstoke Town's home ground at Winklebury. So we're really lucky to use those great facilities. But yeah, just to confirm, there is a female team and a male team, and we compete in the leagues. All right, thanks, guys.
Fantastic. Is there a certain time to do an entry for the BCoT College to be able to get a place?
Hi, yes, that's a really good question. So say you are struggling to make up your mind, you could apply for a place. Early is ideal, but if you end up applying in June or July or even August next year, we will make time for you and we'll show you the facilities. So yeah, as long as ideally you will have applied by the end of July so that you could enroll in August.
Okay. The next one is, in terms of placements, do you find a company for us? If not, how do you help us find employers? And what do you do to prepare us for things like interviews?
I'm back. No, that's a wonderful question. That really is ideal. Yes. Okay. So someone that actually wasn't on my team, I'm going to have to adjust that. Is that we do have work experience coordinators. So myself, James, and Jim. I believe we share the same one. Our name's Annika. Now, as part what her role is at the college is to serve you. She will help you find placements. She will help you write your CV, and so ideally, you will find your own placement. And once you've found a placement that you would like to do, we will then help you with arranging the interview. We'll go through the skills, what to dress, what to say, what to research, so that you can make a good positive impression. But yeah, so ideally you'll find your own placement, and then we will help you with the rest of it.
Okay, great. We have a question from Thomas. How do I get on the public services course?
Hello, Thomas. As I say, great question. The best thing for you to do, most importantly, would be apply as soon as you can if you think you're interested in the public services qualification, either the NCFE route or the level 3 extended diploma. If you apply directly through the college, through the website, and really what I say to all young people who are coming towards us for public service qualifications is your final year at school, work really hard, get those grades and bring them to us, and then we'll take you to that next step to the service you want to join. So I would say apply as early as possible to the organisation, to the college, and then we will have an interview and touch base about which way you want to go. I hope that helps. Yes,
we actually have another question about that, if you'd stay. Okay. It's actually about marketing, I thought it would be easier to ask. So a question about grades. What grades do you need to get a place for public services?
With public services, what we say is at least 4 Cs at GCSE or C equivalents at GCSE. But what I also say for people who are studying maths and English, ideally aim for the maths and English grades. But in interview, if, for example, aspects don't go the right way, there's always a plan B. And what we pride on public services is opening up opportunities for every single young person. So the best thing to do is completely do your best for your grades. But if we need to discuss plan Bs or plan Cs, we are at BCoT willing to do that, because we want to treat each individual learner individually and make sure we've got the best package of education for them. I hope that helps answer that question.
Yeah, another one though for that same topic. So just before you go on, another one, with public services course, can you get straight into a public services job, or do you have to go to university?
That's a great question. And with the great thing now about uniform public services, due to the current climate, where there's funding going in, you can go to university. I've got a student just today been accepted to study criminology at Winchester. So I'm very proud of him, very, very proud. I've also got students that are directly applying to the apprenticeship for the police service, the fire service are recruiting. So I think the short answer to that is we try and create a package that best suits your situation and what you want to do with your career. So what we'd do is we'd sit down, you'd have one-to-ones regularly with myself and my teaching team, Laura and Kathy, and we'd look at what best suits you and that journey that you want to take for your future career. Hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the next question is about exercise, so sport.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have a little break. What topic do you study in the level 3 sport and exercise science course?
Fantastic question, because I get to kind of geek out a little bit now and talk about the stuff I love talking about. So level 3 sport and exercise science is exactly that. So we both get the practical aspects of sport, but also the very much scientific aspects that come along with the more academic side of sport. So primarily things like anatomy, what parts of the body are, physiology, what those parts do. We look at psychology. We also look at the more practical stuff as well. So we look at sports massage, we look at coaching skills, we look at fitness instructor skills, and it's that kind of marrying together of the practical and the academic. Hope that helps.
Yes, that's great. We have another kind of sports question, so I'll keep you here. It's just funny having you guys walk away and come back. So this was a rugby question, which I'm trying to find. It kind of disappeared. Let me just see if I can find it. Yeah. Do you have a boys rugby team? If yes, when and where do we train, and when do we play matches, and how often do we play and train?
Thank you very much. Currently, we do not. However, I am in talks with our rugby coach there. He's not been up to the front very much, so you probably don't know who he is. But James from Uniform Public Services is a rugby coach, and next year we're looking to put together provisionally a 7-side. But if we get enough numbers, we'll go for a full side. It'll be at Mays Bounty on the rugby pitches there. That'll be our home games, and again, we're looking at getting some league placings, just like the football team have got this year. All right.
Okay, great. Another one for sports. So are there any equipment costs for the sports course?
There are no direct costs for equipment for the student, for you guys. We provide everything here in terms of the equipment to take part. We've got an on-site gym facility here, which we're really lucky to have. We also use the local leisure centre in the High Street, Festival Place. We use their facilities as well. The only thing that we do ask students to do is purchase a uniform. And that's just for polo top for when we take part in physical activity, and also when we go out on trips or when we have guest speakers come in. So we're representing the department. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So this question from Casey is, if I'm interested in courses at BCoT and another college, can I do 2 years at one college and then go on to the other?
Hi, Casey. I think the answer to that is it will very much depend on what your progression route is. So if you're doing 2 years and what level course you want to do. So if you're doing a level 2 here and then you want to go on to do a level 3, my advice would be do the level 2, do the level 3, but continue with us here for that 2nd year. If you're wanting to do a level 3 here for 2 years and then move on to a different college to do a higher course or to do an apprenticeship, then that very much is dependent on what the college is offering. But I can say that right now that we are looking to open up different avenues and different destinations to further that progression here as well. So there may be the opportunity to go on to an apprenticeship here as well within travel and tourism. But I would suggest most people do stay. We have got quite a high number of students this year with travel and tourism that started at level 2 and they've then progressed on to the level 3 and are looking to stay to finish for their 3rd year here. It has a very good reputation and really good retention rates as well. So I hope that helps.
Thank you. I have a question from Megan. She's asking, to do the travel and tourism level 3 course, do you need to get 5 GCSEs at grade 4 and above? If you don't pass maths, can you still do the course at level 3 and retake the maths GCSE?
Yeah, hi there. Hi, Megan. Yeah, that's an awesome question. Yeah, absolutely. So if the idea to get onto level 3, you do need 5 grade 4s and above. Now, ideally, one of them will be English and maths. So there are students that are currently on level 3 that are either retaking their English or their maths. So I hope I hope you're pleased at the answer to that question there.
Do you want me to give it a bit more detail?
Right.
Sorry, I just just with my other hat on, I'm head of English and Maths as well at the college. So just to clarify the points, if you haven't heard the English and Maths talk from earlier, just to clarify a few points, if you do come to the college without your grade 4, you are expected to continue to study for your English and Maths through until you achieve your grade 4. So there is an opportunity to do that, and it's made as part of your study programme. So you're not expected to do that as a separate entity or as an evening course. It is built into the programme itself. So it just depends on what grade you're coming in with. If you come in with a 3, you will be expected to retake your GCSE and to hopefully achieve your 4 within that year. If you're coming in with lower than that, we have 4 different tiers. So it'll depend on the grade that you've got to where you'll be placed. Again, if you come in without any grades for English and Maths, that's not the end of the world either. We can still offer you a place at the college, but you would be expected to then start with functional skills and work your way through to GCSE. It's not the end of the world if you get 4 GCSEs and the 5th one happens to be a grade 3 and you're wanting to go on to the level 3 course, then there is negotiation there, but you will be expected to retake. I hope that explains.
Thank you. That's great. There's a question here. It's from Emily. Is a foreign language important to apply for the travel and tourism course?
Hi, Emily. Yes, that's a question I get quite often. This year, I have 87 students all throughout the entire cohort, and I would say that maybe 5 of them speak a second language, or maybe 5 of them are bilingual. So it's not an essential part. If you have that skill, if you can speak a second language, then good for you. That's awesome. But it isn't a requirement that you can speak a second language.
Okay. Are there any height restrictions with being an air hostess?
Yeah, thank you, Phoebe. That's a question I get every year as well. The answer is yes and no, and I'll explain that. Some airlines have a height restriction, so that makes that easy. But other airlines have changed it. They don't have a height restriction anymore. They will have something called a reach test. So what that entails is that they will ask you to stand up, put your hand up as high as you can, and they will take your height from the tip of your fingers. So some airlines choose to do that just to make sure that when you stand up, you can pull that emergency door handle in the event of an evacuation. So yeah, hope that helps.
Fantastic. So we have a sports question, and the question is from Jessica, and she says, what industrial placements can you do for sport?
Thank you, Jessica. Great question, because as we said earlier, industrial placements, industry placements is such a key part of our study program. So it's really important we get you guys out there. Now, in our wonderful COVID world that we live in at the moment, we are doing things very differently with industry placements. So we're getting a lot of speakers come into the college, so industry experts and specialists come into the college to talk you through those placement options. But we also do things like we have partnerships with Hampshire FA for those of you that are interested in football. We have people that go and work in chiropractor clinics, physiotherapy clinics, sports massage. We have people that go to gyms and work with personal trainers. We have people that go to schools and clubs and work with coaches. So a real kind of varied array of jobs there. Does that help?
Yes, that's great. I have a question from Nate about the sports as well, and he wants to know what grades he would need to take part in that.
Very similar to what we've all said here in terms of looking at achieving those grades at GCSE, but we have those various options if you are, unfortunately miss out on those grades. So it's the same as the ones we looked at. They're on the website, and they're also at the front of these presentations as well. But yeah, so if you unfortunately can't get those grades, we've got the level 2 entry option for you with the progression route onto the level 3. Okay, so try your best, work hard this year. Don't panic, because if it doesn't work, we will, as James said, we've got plan B, we've got plan C, and everyone's welcome here.
Thank you. I have a public services question from Lily. She would like to know if you can join the army from public services.
Hi Lily, great question, and most definitely yes you can. It is something which is really, really common most years with public service students. With the military, you've got 2 routes you can go. Route 1 could be as a soldier and work your way through the ranks. Route 2 would be completing a level 3 extended diploma in public services and also going in as an officer through Sandhurst. But if you look at our Facebook website, BCoT Uniform Public Services, we're all on our Facebook website. We'll give you lots of information currently now, which can help you also research that. But yes, you can, and it's really, really praised by the military currently, especially the army. Hope that helps. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So question from Natasha. She would like to know if work experience is still taking place during COVID, and if not, what is happening instead?
You can add in if you like to. I'm just going to nip in here very quickly. Yes, the short answer is yes. Work experience is happening, but not in the same way that it has been previously. So it's not necessarily the point that you'll be going out to a place. Some do, and I'm sure that the team can give some examples. But just to give one example that we're quite proud of, in public services, we have recently given some students the responsibility to be what we call COVID marshals. So these are students who are able to, they're wearing sashes with COVID marshals on and BCoT face masks, and what they're doing is they're implementing the rules around social distancing, wearing face masks, and making sure that students don't hang out in more than groups of 6. And they're not policing it, they're not being harsh in any way, they're just actually there in a supportive note. If you look on our Facebook page, you'll be able to see that we've got some pictures of the students carrying that out, and that is something that will go towards their work experience hours. So we're being very creative with work experience where we're unable to get into industry. Anybody want to?
Yeah, just to reiterate what Claire said there about how important work experience and industry placement still is, even in the environment and the educational landscape we are in at the moment. Even more so, and for example, with James and his COVID Marshall team, because the workplace is dealing with COVID just as we are as an educational institution are dealing with COVID. So getting out there where possible is really, really important, because that currently is the world we're living in. Likewise, where that isn't possible, as Claire said, we're bringing people into the college and we're getting people to engage with you guys as future students and our student body now, and we're having guest speakers come in and you can meet industry professionals, and for me being coaches and athletes and personal trainers, and for Mark being people that work in the travel industry, and likewise in uniform public services. I hope that helps. Should I stay? I've seen sport questions.
Thank you. Yes, more sport from Freya. Freya would like to know, how long are the sports lessons?
Thank you very much, Freya. I think that all of the team here will kind of chip in with this in terms of their own lessons, but they do vary, okay? We have some lessons that are an hour long, some lessons that are 2 hours long. Very rarely you get a longer lesson that might be 3 hours long, but the idea of those lessons maybe isn't necessarily the length, but it's what we're doing within those. So with sport, it's that sort of 50-50 between the practical lessons. Every single week you'll be taking part in some form of physical activity, likely more than once a week, either in our gym facility or in the sports centre, and then kind of combining that with the theory to kind of back up your understanding of why we can do these things in practice. So it's that kind of marriage of both. In terms of days of the week, you're most likely to be in college 3 to 4 days in terms of vocationally with me and the guys in their departments, but also that will be supported by your industry placement, by your personal development, which is something that involves kind of learning more life skills, looking at kind of work experience and how to apply for jobs, looking at kind of money management and all those kind of resilience and those sort of ideas, but also with any English and maths requirements that Claire's touched on already as well.
Okay, so Grace has a question. You might have sort of answered it in the one you just did now, but she wants to know how many lessons you would have a week in the sport and exercise science course.
Brilliant question, Grace. You want to see how much free time you're going to have? I get that. Probably around about 3 days, and it's probably looking at kind of 3 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day in terms of lesson time with me or a member of the sports team, and likewise with the other departments as well. But as I mentioned earlier, that's not the entirety of your study program. That's the vocational aspect, and you have the industry placement, English and maths if that's required, and personal development as well. So you're likely to be in 3 to 4 days a week, but they will be full days. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we have a couple of travel and tourism questions. So Casey would like to know, is travel and tourism 5 days a week?
Hi, Casey. That's a common question. So the travel and tourism course, as sort of Jim's highlighted, it's 3 days a week. So yeah, you're in college for 3 days a week. So for right now, our first year students are in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. No, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're the 3 days. So yeah, you come in for 3 days a week. But obviously, during those other 2 days, it's expected that you'll do your coursework, and obviously you'll do your industrial placement hours as well. But yeah, the contact time is about 3 days a week. And to combine that with the question that you've asked, Neil, how many hours do you need to attend college for? It's about 11 hours contact a week, between 9 and 11 hours a week that you'll be in front of myself and my teaching team, Sue and Philippa.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. That's great. Let's see if we have any more questions. We'll just give it a couple of seconds to see. But there's been some fantastic questions there and some brilliant answers. Oh, we have a question from Dylan. What are the main jobs you should be able to go after doing a travel and tourism course?
Dylan, that's my type of question. Love that. Thank you very much. Let me tell you where some people have gone. So huge cohort try and head straight to the airline industry, your EasyJets, your British Airways. So that's one path. Number two is apprenticeships. So that's another path. Obviously, I mentioned Virgin earlier on. So yeah, option number three, university. So that's another path that students would choose to go down. I've seen students as well head for border force. Some go abroad, some try and get into Disney. So I guess when you start the course, you'll do your 2 years here or 3 years here, and there'll be so many options that are available for you. So that's what's quite good about the course. There's a wide variety of paths that you can go down. Hope that helps.
Okay, thank you so much. That was fantastic. So I think we're coming to session. Some brilliant questions from our viewers and some great advice from our speakers. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope this session has inspired you to study at the Basingstoke College of Technology. Don't forget, if you are ready to apply, you can do so online, bcot.ac.uk/apply. If you question answer it, please feel free to speak to our staff who are live now on the question and answers chat room. Thanks for watching, and we hope the rest of your time is this evening.